It's been about a month since Android 16 became publicly available, so it's about time we talk about that Android 16 update. And the new Pixel drop for July that includes video generation in Gemini on Pixel. Hey friends, I'm Tasia Custode and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I share a ton of tech tips and Google content like this. Let's jump into some of the best Android 16 features and what they mean for you. And spoiler alert, I'm also going to talk about the features that are supposed to be here on the latest update with Android 16 that I still don't have access to yet. First, the biggest difference that you might have noticed running Android 16 is a more, how shall I say, fresh design, thanks to Material 3 Expressive. You know how Google loves a naming convention, but M3 Expressive, as I'm going to call it from here on, is really an evolution of Google's material design system. It's focused on creating a more engaging and what they say emotionally resonant user interface, whatever that means. But what you need to know is that it builds upon Material 3 by incorporating research-backed updates to theming, components, motion, typography, and more, with an emphasis on personalization through features like dynamic color. But we can't talk Android 16 without talking about the new lock screen updates, because there are a few. So full disclosure, on Android 16, you are supposed to, of course, be able to change the font of your clock, but then there's supposed to be a little slider that allows you to slide on the scale and size of that font. I do not have that option. Let me show you what I have. From settings in wallpaper and style, I can click on the clock color and size. However, there is no sliding scale. You can pick between dynamic, so the clock can change size according to the lock screen, or small, so a small clock that shows in the corner of your screen. There is no actual slider for me to customize that size further. And of course, we can't talk about the lock screen without talking about how Android 16 now features kind of iOS-like live notifications on the lock screen. Select notifications on lock screen to manage how your notifications appear. Here you can toggle between compact view or full list view. So now let's touch on the fun new updates to wallpaper on Android 16. Now when it comes to wallpapers, when you add in your own personal wallpaper, you should see a little effects button underneath. With this effects button, you're supposed to be able to enable a 3D option and then also have effects so that you can add weather to the home screen. And I don't mean like a weather widget or a weather shortcut. Weather effects that overlay onto your screen. But wouldn't you know, I don't have that either. And yes, I am on the most updated version of Android 16. So let's head back to our wallpapers and style, and here's what I see. If you tap on more wallpapers, you can tap on My Photos to add a photo from your camera roll. Now, underneath this, you should see this little effects button. Tap on that button. Here you can toggle on the 3D motion effects to create a cinematic wallpaper. I actually have motion effects toggled off on my iPhone because it makes me a little woozy, but to each their own. Here's what it looks like with this toggled on Android. You'll notice as you move your device, you get that 3D effect. But what you don't notice here in my effects options for both lock screen and home screen, I don't have any effects options to overlay the weather. So let me show you what this is supposed to look like. In beta versions of Android 16, when you tap on that effects button, you should be able to scroll through some fun new wallpaper effects. So you could have added and changed shapes, so your wallpaper would kind of come through almost behind this shape, and then the main color here would pull from the colors of your wallpaper. But there was also supposed to be a weather option along the bottom, so you could choose between fog, rain, or snow, and sun. And then when you select one of those effects, it would add that weather effect to your lock screen wallpaper, and then it would fade away slowly when you unlock. And yes, there's supposed to be a local option so that the weather would mirror the current weather where you're at. And you could use the slider again at the bottom to crank up the effect or dial it back for a subtler look. I am up to date with the latest version of Android. I have started and restarted my device and I still don't have these options. So I'm curious to know what you see in your wallpaper and style in your settings. Do you have these other customization options? Yes or no? Comment below. All right, let's talk Pixel drops. A couple from last month and one fun one, including video generation for this month. Pixel VIPs are here and they are glorious. The new Contacts app widget lets you keep your closest family and friends grouped as VIPs. Tap on the Organize tab at the bottom, tap on Pixel VIPs, and here you can choose up to 8 VIPs. Tap on Next and add the widget. From the widget, you can select a contact and see their information at a glance. So the more information you add about your VIP, the more details you're going to see in the widget. So you could see your last message with them, including those from WhatsApp. You could see upcoming birthdays, real-time location, and so on. There are also more detailed captions for video content, and this does include live streams, so you should now see captions that describe more how someone is talking. So like, are they whispering? Are they yelling? Are they clearing their throat? Things like that. And one of the most exciting Pixel drops from this month is that video generation is now available in Gemini for Pixel. And my fellow iOS friends, this also works on the Gemini app on iPhone. In the Gemini app, you can now ask Gemini to create a video from a prompt and bring your vision to life. And yes, you can now turn a photo into a video with Veo 3. So in Gemini, when you tap that video option in the prompt bar, you would tap the plus symbol and either snap a photo with your camera or choose from one in your gallery and just describe what you want to happen and let Gemini handle the rest. If you want more info on how to create videos in Gemini or photo to video generation, you can learn more by tapping up here or via the links in the description below. A couple other things to note for Android 16, you should notice improved haptics overall, better button navigation and back animations. And when it comes to accessibility, you'll now get enhanced support for hearing aids with LE audio. And always ensure you're keeping your system up to date so you can make sure you're accessing these updates. So those are my favorite features from Android 16, and now I want to hear from you. What are your favorite Android 16 features and why? Let everyone know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, well, I want to know. So give it a like, a share, or you can leave that comment below. You can click right about here to subscribe to my channel and here for even more content just like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.